In this Data Insight dashboard, we take a look at the relationship between many different variables and get some detailed information on what's happening in a country. Here we're looking at Ethiopia, where in 2010 it was about 8% of Africa's total. But by 2050, Ethiopia is projected to decrease to only 6.62% of Africa's total population. Drilling into some education data, we can see that about 78% of all primary school-age children are enrolled in school, but the youth population is about 26.62%. We can take a look at different countries around the world. Here we're moving over to Asia and taking a look at Indonesia. Here, about 95% of all primary school-age children are enrolled, but the youth population is only 17.88%. Where it gets really interesting is when we look at the relationships between some of these indicators. For example, let's take a look at how family size is related to education. In most regions, educational gains are linked to smaller families, and we can see this in Asia over time, where we see this relationship between primary education and fertility rate, the number of children per family. But does that hold true in Africa? Let's take a look. It sure looks like it. We see that same trend. Another interesting relationship is between education and economic growth. For example, in 1990, Morocco had a primary enrollment of 57% and a GDP of $786 per person. Moving ahead in time, up to 2009, we can see that Morocco now has a primary education enrollment of 90% and GDP has grown to almost $1,200. You can continue to explore how family size, lifespan, urbanization, and population growth relate, looking at different regions and seeing how individual countries compare.